Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the roll call, we're all present. Councilman Demick has called in, unable to make it today. So we do have a quorum. Let's start with an opening prayer. Those of you would like to join in, do. Dear Lord, we thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon our town. We'd also like to make a prayer for Officer Greenleaf, who was by trying to attempt to capture a dog was bitten and required 8 stitches. We pray for his speedy recovery. All this I ask of you in your name, Lord. Amen. Amen.
I don't even have the agenda in front of me.
Have a motion to approve the agenda. Go ahead.
I need to make a budget amendment number 4 to new. Not sure what he's talking about here.
Make a what?
Budget amendment number
Okay.
4
Under 4.
to new.
Yeah. Oh, I just need to hit refresh.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're just budget amendment to new business.
Here.
Do we have any more additions to the agenda we'd like to add?
Oh, wait. Oh, you made the motion?
Yeah.
I second that.
Okay. Been moved to second, we approve the agenda as amended with an addition to new business C budget amendment. Is that correct?
Budget amendment number 4 to new.
Number what?
Number 4.
Right after roll call and before the declaration of end.
New
Said number
business.
4.
New business.
New business number 15.
It's the budget amendment.
Oh,
number
budget
4.
amendment number
new
4.
business.
Okay,
New
there we,
business.
this number 4. Get me
15, number
confused.
C.
Okay, 15C,
Yes,
budget amendment number 4.
yes.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion now that I'm straightened out? None being all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the sign, same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Any communications from citizens? Anybody online, Chris? Waving their hand? No. Consent agenda. Have a motion to approval of the minutes September 10th, 2024 through September 17th and September 17th, 2024 workshop. And have a motion to approve the minutes.
Move we approve the minutes.
Then been moved to be approved by Councilman Stetler. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Hartke. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed the same. Motion passed all in the affirmative. Approval of bill September 11th, 2024 to September 24th, 2024. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Zent. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Harkey. Any further discussion?
How many
None.
tires? Well, for that Charger, was that 2 tires or all 4?
That was 2.
That's what I thought.
Were they the back two?
Front 2.
Front two, okay. Any other discussion? None being all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed the same. Motion passed all in affirmative. New business, I don't see anything till new business. First on new business, approval of engineers construction bid recommendation for the SCADA. Or SCADA, however you pronounce it. Do we have a copy?
Have a copy of that. It was all email, but I don't see a copy here.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Oh.
If you will,
Yeah, I didn't attach that either.
it's,
You're welcome.
Chris only been wearing about 5 hats today. And,
It's been a day. I'm sorry, I
Kim was sick,
apologize.
couldn't it? That's.
Kyle
Okay,
came prepared.
yes, he did.
Should have brought more than one.
And in our, we had a bid opening that, electrical dynamic sync, bid of $493,760 was the apparent low bidder. Further investigation by Kyle of HDR that they were the low bidder and it was a qualified, they were a qualified bidder and had the low bid. The recommendation is to approve the Shoshoni Well House SCADA and electrical project to electronic dynamic sync for the amount of $493,760. In that bid came in over budget. Yeah, but that bid came in over budget.
How much?
Near 200,000. And Chris has got all, so we've reached out to Slim, State Line and Investment. And talked to them with possibilities and how we're gonna deal with that. I'll let Chris explain that.
So with the, all these grants are ARPA funded grants, as everyone knows. 2 of them were designated as water and sewer, which means that there's a requirement that we have to pay our cash match agreement. There's no backfilling or funding available. Now, the local government grant, what the state is gonna do is to expend all the ARPA money. They are going to pay the town's match of that grant. Because the well house grant is coming in right at budget, thank God. That means the state is going to cover $215,000 of our match that we otherwise would have been paying. So in that, the reason they're doing that is a workaround, so they're gonna cover that. So instead of paying that 215,000 to the state and then increasing the budget for a project, they're gonna just pay the town's match, save us that money, so that we can then use that money for the overage of another grant. The overage on this one's projected to be 190,000. We'll be receiving 215,000 or saving 215,000 in ARPA money. So we could have about $25,000 in wiggle room for any overruns that occur at SCADA. So my recommendation, based on conversations with SLIB in that process, is that it's overall it's going to be a wash in the budget, what we budgeted, and we might actually come out a little bit ahead if everything goes according to plan, or if their costs actually are a little bit less than they bid, we could save them there.
The important thing, I think, is this is gonna be pretty close to wash one way or the other.
Yeah,
And even if it was a small percentage over,
it'll be nominal.
it'd be nominal and these. The SCADA and the well house are intertwined. With the design, the buildings are designed for the SCADA. To back away from one of these now, we
Can't really-
have to back away from both.
Right.
And so there was a fear that that was gonna happen, but just because coming up with $180,000 out of savings at this point we'd have to figure something out, but maybe do it as a different project altogether, but because the state's gonna cover the local government grant, which is our big one, and it happens to be 215,000 as our cash match, that is gonna be covered by the ARPA, and then we can then redesignate that money to the overage of this one. It's kind of a workaround. I know it's kind of a paying Peter to pay Paul type situation, but with
We have the
ARPA
money, let's do it.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
long as Peter's got the money
I-
too, Rob,
But I
pay
wanted-
Paul, I'm all,
I wanted to make sure council was apprised of how we were gonna do
Right,
this,
right.
because
no, it's transparency.
that's why we didn't have a special meeting last week.
Right.
Because we needed to get some information before I could put that out there that we're not,
Make sure we could cover.
yeah,
Right.
so.
Yeah, when the
that's-
bids came out, we had to go in, we talked about Plan B, right? Councilman?
No, I told you Plan B wasn't gonna happen. Plan B involves ski masks and weapons, and I said, we're robbing a bank, I damn sure ain't giving it to the town.
So,
Well, you know,
so before you vote.
you gotta look at options, you gotta
How
look
we're
at
paying for it,
options.
since it is an overage, that is how we're doing.
So,
I don't know how you manage that, but that is phenomenal work, sir.
Well, I'm not Slick Willie.
mhm.
Oh, it's a straightforward deal, but it had to take some doing to get her done.
It took some communication, but we were hoping to be able to save that money, honestly.
Right,
But then
Right.
SCADA just came up way over budget, and we can get into the reasons why it came over budget from what we requested. It comes down to that our original engineer estimate was severely undercutting electrical.
Yeah,
That was the number we had to use as a basis for the request. Had that number been properly adjusted, we would only be talking maybe 80,000 instead of 180,000, but
Was that SCADA bid given back like 2-3 years ago?
yeah.
yeah,
That's
that
one of
had
the
a big
issues
part
too.
of it.
Yeah, that was part of it too. But even looking at when the mayor went back and looked at the principle of what was put in there, the engineer's estimate for the electrical, it was severely low even for that time. But then you throw in the cost, things have gone up as well. The two combined is why,
Yeah, our electrical bid came in at, I think a little over $300,000.
we were hoping to be able to get another one last give me from the federal government, but in this case, we're gonna have to use it to.
But we can make it work.
That's what I got for that.
I move we approve the engineers.
Bid. Been motioned by Councilman Zent, we have, approve the engineer's recommendation for the successful bidder electrical dynamics Inc. for $493,760. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Hartke. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those the same. She passed all in the affirmative.
What's the, I know I told you to go ahead and move forward as if it was gonna be approved, so what's the timeline on the agreement?
I got a notice of award, I got my agreement, so I'm gonna deliver him the contract tomorrow. He's supposed to have been working on his bonds. And his insurance, and just is waiting for that to send to them. These are the original bids, just for your records, I got them scanned in, so I'll give those to you. Once we do have a signed agreement, you can send the low picture, the high biders.
I ain't authorized to sign nothing.
Yeah, yeah. And
I don't even have a key to my front door.
I'll get it in the mail tomorrow,
Well, hang on to that one for, so we got
the agreement.
all our ducks in a row.
You think we'll have the agreement by Friday?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. It indicated that it wouldn't be a problem, so. If it has to be a courier, I'll be a courier.
What is the deadline, Monday?
Technically Friday, because it's, I guess Monday.
Monday,
yeah.
Monday.
Monday's,
Actually, when I talked to her, she said October 1st.
Don't
And-
push it.
What she told me. She said she was giving some towns some even more leniency because they were waiting for them to have their meeting in October, so. We'll be ahead of that. If you want to give me a copy of these. That's fine. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, that was a lot of work. Did you want this back, Kyle? We have,
No, that you guys can.
Okay. I know I got a copy somewhere.
No.
We have a property sale sealed bid opening next. We received one bid. Okay, we have a bid for lots 1 and 2.
What street, we're buying?
The 1 and 2 would be on.
Georgia or
yeah.
Idaho and.
No, not Idaho, Wyoming. Wyoming and Fifth,
In it, where the shop's at.
where the shop's at. Wyoming and Fifth, where the shop's at. The bid is $31,001. Think that's a reasonable bid. I don't know about anybody else.
and this, yeah, it still leaves the 4.
Still leave the four.
Still leaves the 4 lots. It's, I'd like to got 10,000 more, but that's not a,
Will we approve the bid?
been moved by Councilman
I'll second
Settler. We
it.
approve the bid.
I'll second it.
Been seconded by Councilman Hurd. Any further discussion?
I had a gentleman come by and ask about this property. And he said. The town could improve their. He thought we should improve our advertisement. Saying there's no utilities or no sewer, no. What's on the property itself. Give a better clarification of what's there. You know, there's no sewer or whatever. He thought it would just be helpful, get more interested for that idea. So make it more clear. You know, what needs to be done to the shop or whatever. It would be easier for, the people to look at and get maybe more interest.
Yeah, I had a conversation with some questions about the same thing where we have obviously water sewer there. But you'd have to, depending on which ones you bought, there's only one water tap currently.
That's
on
what he
there.
said,
You would have to buy another water tap, which would be an additional cost.
yeah.
And then running power would be an additional cost. With the power company for a meter that's not currently there. And those were understandable. The sewer, there was a sewer tap there too, so I think the town with the water tap, I think we could probably maybe work with something on that, but yeah, some of those things were, I guess, a little unaware since it was 6 lots and we broke them up. I don't think, we didn't maybe.
Well, at one
consider
time
that.
there was 2 water taps there.
Was there?
Yeah, guaranteed. I think I found both of them when I looked at it. There was 2 water taps, 2 sewer taps.
So just clarification for the public, what
Right, right.
on the property, so any other property we sell, we should say, no, there's
Mhm.
I agree. No, I
Sure.
100%
just
agree.
clarification,
Just so they know what they're getting, adjust their bid accordingly.
yes.
What they need to put into it. And clarifying that in the ad would be helpful.
But, yeah, actually, I had someone real interested yesterday. I thought was gonna put in a bid and then, our realtor, the gentleman submitted a bid. That was a day late last time, but didn't submit one this time. Whatever reason.
So we're gonna announce who bought it this time.
Oh, excuse me. George Weaver, Bo Weaver. From Shoshoni. George and Jeannie Weaver. Over the years, I didn't know that was Bo's name. But 31,000. So we'll notify. We still have some stuff to remove from there.
And a small matter of a vote.
Well, we haven't voted.
No.
But we've been moved and seconded?
Yes.
Excuse me. We was in discussion.
Oh, yes.
That was.
Yeah, I was just saying before you move
Move on,
on, at
yeah,
some
we might.
point, we should.
We usually vote.
Yeah.
So, all in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose the same. Motion passed in the affirmative. So we'll notify Mr. Weaver and his wife that they were successful. Budget amendment, budget amendment number 4, Chief, you wanna explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I included a memo in the packets there. I don't know if you read them, but just briefly, we passed the FY 2025 budget back in June, and there was unallocated balance of revenues of 50,381 that was left unallocated versus expenditures. Currently, the town of Shoshoni has 2 department heads with retirement planned the next 2 to 3 years. And of course, with retirement pending in the near future on unannounced date. The FY 25 budget does not currently have personnel budget for hiring and training personnel for replacement. So where some of that comes from is that there's a lot, obviously. Employees wear a multitude of hats. And it's not as simple as one leaves, you hire somebody to come in and then expect them to be able to just take on the mantle and be able to have the institutional knowledge. All the contacts and all the little things that outside of just the day-to-day of doing a job, that come with training. And I know it's a problem that I believe the mayor was talking a little bit about some issues with the state's realizing in that front with the baby boom generation becoming retired and the next generation coming in and not being able to do a level of job that is expected. So what this would be is to essentially bring someone part-time, and it's twofold, because right now there's a lot of things that are unable to be done by just one person, so it's helpful for that, but also giving someone institutional knowledge and training on a part-time basis, whether that becomes full-time when that person retires, or it gives the assistance, but it would, if that person retired, if that person didn't take it, they would still carry on that knowledge to be able to pass it on to the full-time person that came afterwards. We'll have to address that with other departments here in the near future, but for now, this was the one that we discussed. And bringing someone in approximately 24 hours per week, training in that regard, approximate cost would be 21,006 in wages, 2452 in FICA. Alternatives would be to not do anything. Currently, we have someone training, helping out. We're 6,000 citations behind on entering into a database that our Kathy just can't do. She just can't do that's the hat she can't wear. So that is what we brought a person in to start help that and to help Kathy get caught up in some things. I'm not saying Kathy's retiring tomorrow. That's not. It's trying to plan for the future and get somebody that's interested in maybe being here full-time, working part-time, and then graduating into a more full-time role. Kind of what Kathy did when she first came here, as an example. And if it's not that person, we have somebody else, we have the budget to be able to do that in the future, whether it's future.
Has this part-time position been advertised?
No.
It doesn't
Yes.
exist yet.
And who's the
Does it
gal who's
exist
helping
yet?
Kathy?
Part-time position?
And who's the lady who's helping Kathy?
That was a internal hire. Right now, it doesn't apply to this. It was.
Okay, so that's, so you never told me that.
Right, no.
Yeah.
That was sort of a temporary.
That was,
emergency hire.
temporary. Yeah, there's, like I said, there's no budget for it. So I have a small budget for part-time that just trying to get Spillman and things with in the law enforcement database. And she's been kind of helping Kathy just while we're waiting for the Spillman access and all that stuff to come online. So she's been helping Kathy to do some minor tasks that Kathy does, but not all that. But
I recently went to the Wyoming Workforce Development meeting in Fort Washakie for 2 days. And that was a topic here in Shoshoni. We talked about that. We have 5 employees right now that are over 60 years old. I have 5 employees right now over 60 years old. One of the things that was brought up.
That's why everything runs so well.
But one of the things that's brought up is not being prepared for the person to retire. And they said many municipalities, businesses, whatever, don't plan ahead. And you need to start looking into the future and put into your budget. And that's what part of what this is, we're looking at, put into your budget to do some of this. We just happen to right now got an individual helping Kathy out some and working on trying to gather things up that has the skill sets or something to learn and has shown an interest to maybe working with us here and she could, there's other duties she can do too, but this seemed like the right person at the right time to maybe start doing this at this time.
which is why I led with person. It might be that, it might be somebody else. They're
Right.
two separate things,
When
but
I just,
Yeah,
noticed
no.
a new gal in the office and it's, so I was wondering, if it's advertised or she just hired as a temp.
yeah, right now it's just temporary.
Yeah,
That's
Answers
all,
my
that's
question.
all I could have done, so.
Okay.
yeah, and but it just seemed like it may be good to move it on a little further and spend more time on. But it's Chris has been evaluating her and working with that individual.
More Kathy than me, but
Yeah, but it just resonates with me because I just came out of that conference and, they warned us, you need to start, we've talked about, and I don't know how we can force them. I've mentioned to Mike that retirement age is until 75 in Shoshoni. And I've told him, You know, told everybody that's at 60 over, I mentioned that, but I don't know how to enforce it. But anyway. Things are running so good, you know, yeah, but anyway, but that's, I just, thought that this might be a, you know, good opportunity.
Move that we amend the budget by increasing line item 10-42-110 by 21,600 and line item 10-42-130 by $2,452 to provide for the part-time training of possible replacements.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded as presented that we approve, budget amendment number 4. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed, all the affirmative. Public Works report from the department head. Mike, that means you. That 75 really is the old 65, you know?
I feel 65.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
75, yeah, I agree. We can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 more years. Now, good evening, Mayor, High Chief and Councilmembers. As you all noticed, me and Bart and I have been installing sprinkler system. For saw to be delivered and installed. I canceled the order. Because of the change of weather and the scheduling of the watering of the sod for the first month. I don't want the rest of the sod not getting fully established. And we end up with dead sod in the spring. We're getting, you know, a waste of $6,000. I pulled that. I canceled it. We will start next spring with getting the sod installed and established. We will finish up on installing the sprinkler system as time permits. We will also work on getting the rock installed. But for now, Bart has fallen behind on his maintenance of keeping the parks grass cut and winterizing the senior citizen center.
Senior housing.
There's apartments. So for this week, I talked with Bart about cutting the grass and do some winterizing at the senior citizen apartments. There's a door at the lot, wind caught it. And he has to get 2 apartments ready now for rent. He's almost, you think he finished that one today, then the other one that popped up is that lady that went to Riverton, took her sister. She fell or something, hurt something. Michaelette, she'll be taking the first 2 weeks of October off. For hunting.
Sheep tag.
Yeah, then come back 4 weeks.
I thought he was going to
Another week off.
Utah.
After that, I think he should be done hunting.
Got some pretty good tags this year.
Yeah. Plus, he's getting ready to be school, hump time. Today was Steve Muller's last day for summer. He's on call though, when we need him in an emergency. And I had Hannes Steppler of DEQ show up today to inspect the dosing system. They seem to have a member of the community upset with the sewage system, or just upset because of the rate increase. That's my opinion. Hannes said he knows where to get money to help fix the system. So I told him we'd be in contact with him in the future here, as we work on the PR. Go ahead. Any questions?
Burn days.
Burn date?
I have some scheduled, is it?
I can do one. I can ask him tomorrow.
Okay, not yet.
You get that.
Any progress on ordering your water meters that have been,
I've been looking at some of them now. Some different vendors.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause the vendor I was going to, he's no longer, he lost his contract.
Oh.
With that, with the census meter. He told me that about a month ago. So, there's another guy down in Casper, Dana Kempner. They still go by the name Dana Kempner, but they were, Core and Maine bought them out. But they're the ones that got the contract for the census.
Okay.
And Joe here sent me another vendor,
Yeah,
and get a hold of him, check him, see what he's got.
Those are the only questions I have.
Anybody else?
anything else you need from us?
This, are we gonna get into the rock part?
It's,
You need a perk test.
we're probably not gonna put that out to bid till at least December. We're talking with the engineer. So it's gonna be a springtime, but like what you've already done, is good. I think we probably need to remove that vault. But everything you've done there is good, we needed to do, but we're probably not gonna be putting it out. My guess,
Because we got the top part of that grass up on top,
right,
above. We got all that moved down.
yeah,
I haven't had him mow the bottom part,
sure.
where the drain field's supposed to go.
And I think we're ready, actually, if we wanted to. I'll check, there might be a break. A little price break if we did it in October, the crushed asphalt part.
Mhm.
I think we're ready for that if we wanted to do that, right?
Yeah. That's all,
Might,
that's all cleared up.
there may be a price, let me check, there may be a little better. Let me see if it'd be advantageous to do that now, that part of it now.
Okay. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Down to mayor's report, et cetera, et cetera. Bob, do you have any, would you like to talk about your?
Saratoga.
Yes.
Gas, right now, production is down and it's gonna keep on going down. Price of natural gas is down. And the other part is the average amount of, they taken past 5-year average, how much they have in storage. That is the highest it's been the last 6 or 7 years. Not just 5 years, it's way up. They're hoping for the first quarter of next year to be terrible. That's what their forecaster says.
Cold.
Cold.
They're hoping
Snow.
for that?
She
Price
sells
gas,
gas.
gas companies are, gas companies are.
Um,
Did we get a bigger cut?
and so if you look at that, you know, don't go, if they're worried about, if you take the market rate, you'll get hit like people got hit 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
That quote, severe weather fee that they just came off they said last August.
So typically, at least when I was doing it, I would hedge the town depending on the year. And I either do 50% hedge to protect on the market fluctuations, but also not lose out on it to benefit, but protect. I think we can go to 75%. I think is the maximum we can do. So I don't know, maybe that might be the more prudent thing to do this year.
Or you can just buy in a price per therm as a town could still want into that. And that's set firm cost for the whole year.
See, we already did that though. Earlier this
Well,
year.
that's what we did is the hedge. We take we purchase a therm price at 50%. of the overall, then the other 50% would be market
Okay.
fluctuations. But we can jump it up to 75 and take 75% of the price at a locked in rate, and then the other only 25% fluctuates. So, I don't know. if
That's
that
what I
would
said.
be better this year, or
We expect the price of gas to go up the next 3 years, just small increments, 3 to 5%. Basically keeping the rate of inflation. The other part they talked about is how to get more people for their grants. They have they have $10,000 they give in grants every year. And how we can get the public to know, aware of these grants. We just talk about putting them in the town's newsletter, put them on the town's website, say, community gas has this grant application for anybody. As a possibility to look at, do that, and then so, show them what the grants have been used for, everything from splash pads to, I think the Castle Mountain Fire District, but equipment and stuff.
is it a total of 10,000, or is it 10,000 per?
It's a total of 10,000, so usually last year was 2 4,000 grants and 2 1,000 grants.
Okay.
So like the rifle range can put in for a grant. And but the only thing they want that entity to do if they receive it is put a little plaque up and say, receives this much money from this person.
And that's in addition to the 4,000 or so.
Right,
that we get for community.
right.
So we could have swings and a splash pad.
Well, there's already budget swings.
We could get more.
Hemsleep has a pretty rockin' splash pad.
They do.
Tesla has a great, you're right.
I've
been there, I got a bunch of
spot
pictures
right
of
there
it.
for it. We just gotta
But
get an engineer or somebody to, do some pro bono work for us.
what we need though really is have the Sleep River run by us.
Yeah.
I mean,
No
that, you know what I mean? That's the water, yeah.
She said that 28 and 29, they expect the gas prices to go down. That they're looking 5 to 10 years out for gas prices. It's a commodity.
Part of that driver, correct, would be more solar and wind energy, correct?
The other part is they're not building they're not converting as many coal plants
To gas.
to gas.
Right.
And therefore that demand is stabilizing.
Right.
That's what I got at a meeting. You've probably heard the question about, there seems to be a lot of dog noise and dogs loose.
We had our fill of dogs this weekend, but yes.
Okay, just something to be aware of.
Part of that, it was right across from your house, so there was a lot of loud dog noise for about 2 hours.
Yeah, but they're actually, really, that place is really pretty good. I mean.
But that was us.
Yeah.
That was us dealing with a different issue that happened to be in that yard. It wasn't their fault.
Yeah,
Um,
they're really good. I mean, and then they have all those puppies that just get excited and yapping.
but I'm sure some people heard that
Yeah.
night, because it was pretty loud for about 2 hours, those dogs barking in there.
Yes.
So that might have also, but yes, there's been a couple issues, so that's gonna be something we're gonna have to go back around and, start with trying to address it through warnings and hopefully that solves the problem and escalate from there like we did 2 years ago. Because last year was a lot better, so
Yeah.
we have some new people in town too, so.
I've seen a kind of a small, medium-sized dog, black, white chest, just kind of wandering around.
Those, Tony's dealing with those, the owners are actually former mushroom farm employees that went back to California, and they had someone supposedly watching them. And so we gave them an ultimatum, either take them to pause and adopt them out, or we're gonna start issuing citations and kennel them. But those, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, the other part is fast lane's starting to, or trucks on Third Street running. It's getting cold. I'm expecting to start hearing trucks
And yeah, we're gonna have to come up with something. I don't. At 3 o'clock in the morning, if somebody pulls in and at 3 o'clock, I don't know if we get called out for that and address that, or if that's something we converse with Fast Lane and hopefully they'll partner with us a little bit to kind of, we'll take care of the other stuff, but somebody, just to
I'm just
help
thinking
out.
being proactive.
Yeah, no, I agree that we need to have that conversation before winter gets here, because it does happen. They pull in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and then
They sidle
Yep.
till they leave at 6.
and obviously we have signs, but
You also have speed limit signs, they don't really work.
yeah. So I think that that's a conversation that I think that I can have with Fast Lane to see if we can get a little bit of partnering on helping to just curtail that as much as possible.
That's all I have then.
So I can do that.
Jake, what do you have something?
I'm not really, apologize for missing the workshop. I was hung up at work till got to town about 7:15. I didn't bother coming at that point, but seemed like you guys, I watched on YouTube. I got no arguments with anything anybody said, so. So I did get caught up. I'm up to speed on everything, but
Yeah. Jamie,
I have to apologize, I wasn't here either, I had to work.
that work gets involved, don't it, at
Somebody's
times?
gotta work, some,
Well, when you're the boss and no one shows up, you gotta do it.
yep,
You can't slough it off on somebody else, cause here's the somebody else that's always gonna be there.
Or get bit by dogs.
Or get bit by a dog. Did you talk about the dog issue, getting bit by a dog, one of our officers?
No, I didn't address that. I wasn't really on the agenda, but
Okay.
I can touch on it if you want to, but.
That's, you don't
kinda
have,
did.
Huh?
You guys
Yeah, we
said
can.
there's an issue and he's jumping all over it. So.
Yeah,
Well, we had that, it was a white dog that was coming out every night, going to Fast Lane. Really skittish. But they would feed and water it, so, and then customers would try and catch it. And, because they saw a loose dog. It bit 2 people, about 3 days ago, so there was no owner, so the parent of the dog wasn't a local dog. It just came out of nowhere. For about 7 days, it was. And after that, we tried to trap it, but we just couldn't catch it. We tried live traps, we tried catch poles, we tried everything that we could really do. So we reached out to 2 veterinarian doctors. We have a tranquilizer dart gun, and so they loaded our darts up with tranquilizer. 2 different types of tranquilizer, based on estimate weight of the dog. We had a successful deployment of the tranquilizer at Fast Lane, and it takes about 10 minutes for it to take full effect. So we tracked the dog over back by the RV park, and it was definitely getting woozy. It was kind of staggering around, so we were thinking it was going to finally just lay down and go to sleep so we can capture it safely. And every time we got close to it, it would go from staggering to being fully lucid and just take off again. So after about 45 minutes, we gave it the second dose of a different tranquilizer that was a lot more powerful. It's one that they commonly use to put dogs under general anesthesia for surgery. It comes with an antidote because it could depress the breathing, and so we made a decision to do that. We trained at that time. The second time, positive deployment. Tracked the dog for about 20 minutes around town, then it went into a yard right across from your house and got in that yard. Nobody was home, no other animals were in that yard, so we kind of commandeered that yard, so to speak, and locked the fence so it couldn't get out, so at least it was contained. It continued to get drowsy and stagger and kind of all like it was going to fall asleep. After about 45 minutes of that, the dog still just would take off. So we were left with the only option of capturing this dog outside of just outright having to shoot it, trying to take other measures to incapacitate it so we get a catch pole around it and contain it. We attempted other measures to subdue the dog. I will say essentially using electronic control devices that incapacitate the dog for 5 seconds at a time. We did 7 applications and we're still unsuccessful in getting a catch pole around the dog. On the 7th application, the electronic control device had an interruption of some kind, and the dog was able to bite one of my officers, Sergeant Leaf Green, through heavy-duty gloves. And it ripped his thumb from right there all the way across and exposed his muscle and tissue and everything else. So at that time, the decision was made to put the dog down. So we did put the dog down humanely as we could. And the dog was sent down to Laramie for testing for rabies, which we got the results back today that was negative.
But you went to, you know, a lot of extra effort to avoid having to put down the dog and just.
From
trying-
outright, yeah, but you know, it comes down to once we actually got it, it looks like the dog was part coyote. So it was at least a dog that had intermixed with domesticated animal at some point, and it was part coyote, and how it got here, I don't know. But in the safety of the community and kids and everybody else that might come in contact with this dog, even though it was skittish, if they tried to capture it, they got bit. The amount of damage it did through heavy duty gloves, I can only imagine what that would have done to an unprotected person. And so unfortunately, that's what took place. But it did lead to the injury of one of my officers, and he required 8 stitches. He had to follow up with a orthopedic surgeon. Not looking like he's gonna have to have surgery, but there's gonna be some nerve damage and stuff that's gonna take some time to heal. So everyone thinks like, the dog issues, it's really simple, but it's not as easy as sometimes it's we would like it to be, capturing them. And it's kind of how that transpired.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've been working. Chris, Kim and I have been working on and we had a graphic designer help us this on a new town model for Shoshoni. I just got this in late afternoon today. And sort of, what do you think?
Where is this gonna be at?
This would be on our business cards. This would be
Are they
on our
gonna
pickup.
Replace that?
Yes,
Let me see. Oh,
so trying to come up with something with Crossroads. They are getting recognized all over by being the Crossroads.
need to put balls.
So
Depends if you're CDL driver, driving.
would you like to look at this from the audience? Yes. And it's sort of going with the, we keep the fishing, fishing derby, talk fishing, we have, that's an important. We have the tractor show. I tried to figure out the rifle range, but antelope looks pretty good, and that's sort of the road representing crossing the causeway. Sort of. And trying to get something that'll.
It would look cool too to have maybe the plaza on there that you guys. But this is nice.
And something that'll look, when it gets smaller, will still look good. Cause she kept the graphic designer that helped us with that. Says, remember, it may look good here, but it'll also, when it makes it small, it still needs to look good. And that's,
Contrast in colors brings it out.
You like the colors? Yeah, that was, yeah,
So,
yeah.
And I
think
spent
it
a lot
does.
of going back and forth, like, hey, you need to add this color, you need to add this color, you need to add this color. Hey, you forgot the black on the antelope, you know.
You know, so it's, yeah, the last little bit of color, it's, I think looks fairly good. And sort of John Deere green. So I don't know. So. Our architect is still working on our sign for building stuff and waiting for us to send him a copy. So,
Whatever happened with our sign for the plaza that was supposed to come from those?
we're working with the Historical Society with that. We presented what we thought was real good. They wanted to make some changes, so I haven't talked to Kathy. Well, but we presented what we thought was, I thought it was Kathy did it, Kathy and I think Kathy Soul helped or something, Kathy Blair did most of it. She just did, I thought she came up with a really good one, but the Historical Society wanted to change it, they didn't like the picture. So. And they didn't like all the verbiage, I thought it was really good, so. I haven't had a chance to talk to them again since Kathy passed. That was a couple of weeks ago, I think. She said they want to make a bunch of changes there. So I don't know. But I thought Kathy Blair did just an excellent job on it. I was tickled pink. She sent it there for their review. And after the review, I was going to bring it to council, but thanks for reminding me. I should have updated you probably the last meeting on it. You know, another thing we're looking at, the FCAG is looking at hiring a grant writer who would be available to help the municipalities out on some of these things. I had a meeting, ID Inc. actually gave us a $50,000 check to help us facilitate hiring a grant writer. So we've kicked around a lot of ideas on how to do that. So we reached back out to ID, some more guidance of how they want us to spend that money they gave to us. We got some direction from them. And so I'm actually having a meeting with our FCAX director tomorrow. And then Thursday we're gonna be talking about it some on our meeting, and we're getting close to maybe moving forward on that in the next month or so. So that could help, you know, Chris, our team Shoshoni, we do pretty good. Chris, me and him and Kathy and everybody else gets involved. And the council and direction, everything we do fairly well. You know, I did look at, I should have brought that up. Our population isn't officially over 600. So they listed 49 municipalities that are in the state and grants they receive and per capita, how much they receive. Looking at our numbers, we receive more per capita than any one of those. We've done fairly, our per capita money we've received over the last, it was over a 7-year period. We've received more money per capita than any of those that made the top 49. So anyway, but that could, I mean, Pavilion could use it, we could use, you know, I think we're all, you know, right now it's hard for us to do much, but we gotta be really picky on any other, we've been so successful, we can only do so much. And Chris can only work 80, 90 hours a week, I mean, you know, that type thing. So, but that was, that was something I just wanted to bring out about what's happening and on that, but that's basically, I can't think of anything else I'm forgetting that I should be bringing to council. But we're still working on the medical. That the organization wants to bring a specialized medical facility in Shoshoni. That's what I'm meeting with business council tomorrow about that. They're very, very, very interested in moving forward on that. I'm in communication with their CEO, and they're excited about the prospect. That's continuing to move forward. Other than that, it's Mike talked about the PR for the sewer line, stuff like work on stuff. We got things in the future for work. I don't have anything else. I think it's important, probably do, but it's 8:04.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Been moved to adjourn the meeting by Councilwoman Hartke and a second. Councilman Stetler seconds. Any further discussion? None being. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All the same. Motion passed all in the 8:04 PM. Thank you. Anything we can do to help expedite that, Kyle, sort of in their hands and yours?
I'm gonna try to get it to them, like I said, tomorrow morning, first thing.
Okay,
Yeah, once they get it signed and all and other stuff, I'll
yeah.
courier it over here and get it signed on your end and signed.
Our conversation with Beth went well. I reached out to Busted Marie, Anna Marie, or whatever her name is. She wasn't answering, so I reached out to Beth. Beth responded.
Good.
Now.
And so, but we followed the chain of command. I didn't wanna,
That's
I
right.
didn't wanna jump over and,
Yeah.
That's all we were.
Oh, no, I think that turned out really well. Sounds like they got it worked out.
yeah, she explained that pretty well to us. We are gonna have about maybe $100,000 in our road project that we gotta give back. They won't let us. I asked if we could move that. Yeah, I did. I had to ask. And she said I couldn't.
Dang.
But she said, it looks like we can get that other 200 and some thousand. So, that's